Hey everyone, how's it going? Today's video is going to be a little bit of a different one, but I wanted to go over some cards that I speculate will go up in the future. I know there's a lot of people like this on YouTube that make claims like buy this, buy this. I'm not saying buy any of that. These are just some cards I think are undervalued and I could see going up in price over the next 6 to 8 months. So I just figured to share my thoughts and throw it out there, see if anybody agrees, and just kind of tell you guys like what I'm looking at in terms of stuff I'm trying to maybe collect now before it spikes up, or collect multiple copies of to sell back later and make my money back to put back into the hobby and that thing that's not an addiction. And so for number one, we're gonna have about 10 here. Sorry, before I get into number one, as you can clearly see. So just letting you know, this might be a little bit of a longer video, but I'm gonna go over the card, explain why I think it's gonna go up. I'm not going to give an exact number of what I think it's going to go to. I think that's a little ridiculous. I don't have that crystal ball. Like I said, this is all speculation. Take everything with a grain of salt. So, with that in mind, getting into number one, we clearly have the Braixen Trainer Gallery from Silver Tempest. This card, I think, is going to go up for multiple reasons. One is it's a Trainer Gallery card, and I think Trainer Gallery as a complete subset and an idea is super underrated even now, and I feel like I can make a whole video just on Trainer Gallery and Galarian Gallery cards that I'm confident will go up. But this is one of those that I strongly believe in for a couple reasons. One is the price point already, as you can see on TCG Player, is $1 to like $2 with shipping, and that's for near mint copies. So how much further down can this card really go? Like maybe it hits the 80-cent range from a year from now, but Silver Tempest is just hitting one of its last reprints. It's a pretty popular set. I think it's underrated, not like as underrated as like an Astral Radiance, but I still think there's a lot of room and a lot of unexpected hype to be had here. And it features a very cute art, and while the card itself is not textured, and I know the textured ones are a lot like more in demand, it features an iconic trainer. And I think that's some of the biggest problems with these Trainer Gallery cards in general, is that a lot of them don't have iconic trainers. They'll have like Karen or Acerola, or like Lance's Charizard is in one, but Red, Misty. But like some of those cards I named, like Red and Misty and Cynthia, those are like the expensive ones. The ones that you're going to be looking at like $15, $20 for. So looking at this one with $1 price point, I've picked one of these up from the 50-cent bin in my local card shop before, and I just think there's not a lot of room for failure. Like, this card is never going to be worth $0 unless something really crazy happens, which I don't think it will. Pokemon's a pretty stable market right now. And again, this might only be like a $5 to $8 card in the future, but if you buy 5 of them now for $1, and in 6 to 8 months they're worth $5 a piece, that's a pretty good little upgrade you can see there, and that's definitely a good chunk of money you can put towards some more expensive cards or back into your collection. And so that's why this is my pick for number one. I'm also just a big sucker for the Trainer Galleries as a collector myself. And number two, and again, by the way, this is going to go from lowest to highest price wise, so as we get further up they'll be more expensive, but none of these will be over $50, because if I'm not willing to spend the money on it right now, I don't see why I should be saying you guys should. So number two, we're going to be looking at a lot of classic collection pieces, specifically this Venusaur and this I almost said Charizard, Blastoise. So if you know from classic collection, the Charizard's the only thing that's really worth money. There's another couple cards we'll get to that are worth over $10, but either way, it was a really heavily printed set. It's just a repop. I mean, this is just old art in a new form, so it's not like it's very iconic or like new or that's innovative. But for the price that you can buy these at now, I think you should probably be looking at picking a couple up. So like, as you can see, TCG Player here, it says $5.33, but you can pick up lightly played ones for $3, $4, less than. And again, this is the one that I found at card shops for $2, $3. I don't think I've found any for like $1. But Venusaur and Blastoise definitely don't get the love that Charizard does. with these anniversary collections, like Generations, Celebrations. What's the other one? 151. Like these are all like anniversary sets, big milestone stuff. Charizard will always be in the front and center of these, and I don't think, because I'm trying to think, like Evolutions. Evolutions is another great example. The only one of the big three that got a card was Charizard, right? There's no Venusaur, there's no classic Blastoise art, and that's why I think this is a good pickup, because again, this might not be one, this might be a $15 card in a year, 8 months, but I don't think Venusaur and Blastoise are necessarily guaranteed to get that love again. So that's why I'm going to be looking at picking up these two. And again, Blastoise is a little bit more expensive. It says $6 here, but as you can see, near mint $4.79, near mint, lately played $5.25. It's a $5 card. It's not $6. It's not $8 like it says the listed medium prices. And again, I don't think these cards are specifically going to get any love. As far as I know off the top of my head, besides like Legendary Collection, these are the first Blastoise and Venusaur base set reprints with these arts. So they're just, especially having to pick up for $2, this is one I'm going to put in my speculation box. And one more, this is kind of a bonus, not related to the other two. I'm not very confident in this one, but I think it's a cool card. It's the Greninja Gold Star. It's taking an old idea with the Gold Star and putting it for what is probably the most popular Pokemon to come out since 2016. I remember back when Pokemon did the fan poll, Greninja was the most popular and voted on as such. And I think having a shiny one that's very cool and expensive. Again, it's only $1. It's a promo, so it's not going to be reprinted incredibly. There's going to be a lot less of it than some other cards that are in the set. And yeah, I think if you can find one of these again for $1, maybe $2, pick up a couple. I don't think the ceiling is incredibly high, but I also don't think you're going to be losing a lot of money. Again, if you pick up a card for $1 and it's 50 cents in 8 months instead of 5, are you really going to like cry over that 50 cents? Maybe you will, but I just think there's some potential here. Speaking of potential and cards that I think are so underrated, we have Furry Soda Girl. Now, competitively, and competitive is important when you're talking about market price, this card doesn't see a lot of play. It's not an iconic trainer, but the art on it, this picture doesn't do it justice. In person, this one's a lot better. The colors on it are really like warm versus a lot of these other ones which have like these bright blues and greens. I just really try to make it pop. And I don't know what this one says, 17.19. That's just not true at all. As you can see, even the medium price is $8. It was $12, and now it's back to $7. Under $7 you can pick this one up for. And this just backs it up. Lightly played, 7 shipping including, 5 plus 2 shipping, $6-7. Excuse me. And for $10, and again this is Silver Tempest, a set along with like Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin that are gonna be stop being printed and put into packs and found at like Target or whatnot. I think this is a good one to pick up. For $10, there's a couple other supporters that you could get. One that comes to mind from the same set is Worker. It's just not as cool of a card as this one. I think this one's ceiling is way higher. And for $7, it's a very pretty card, and I think it will be maybe a $20 card. But again, a little bit more risk at $7, still not bad. One I'm going to be looking up to add to my collection personally. Continue on with the full art supporter train of thought for a little bit. Here we have one that's a little bit more expensive. We're getting into the $15 range, but I think this is again a very safe bet. The most expensive card from Sword and Shield base set is Marnie. It's a full art Marnie. I think it's about $75 if I remember off the top of my head. And here we have one from Brilliant Stars, which is a set that came out like 4 to 6 months after Sword and Shield base. It's a Marnie. I think it's a better looking Marnie, and it's only $15. Again, Marnie seems to be the most popular trainer, maybe along with Leon, but like Leon cards don't tend to sell incredibly well. Marnie cards definitely have a higher ceiling. As you can see, if you look at the 1 year, this card was kind of already went through a spike, $13 up to 26, back down to 15. So I think it's half off than if you were to buy it 3 months ago. And if we're comparing Marnie cards, this one's better. And we already know that Marnie has potential because the Sword and Shield one is, like I said, $75. So this is one I think is a pretty safe pickup, hold long term. I don't know if it's going to be one of the top grails of the set, but it's one I think I can be fairly confident in given the situation around it. And again, like I said, keeping with full art trainers, here we have a Skyla from Shining Fates. I think Shining Fates overall, it's kind of a disappointment. There's like 2 Grail cards in there. You got the Shiny Vault Charizard, a couple other baby shinies which are like $5 or over, but that's whatever. To me, it's like, I don't see the baby shinies increasing in price. They're always going to be able to print more shiny Pokemon. This Skyla card, however, stands out the top right now. Being $15, it is the most expensive card in the Shining Fates base set. And I think that deserves this price. There's been quite a few Skyla cards since Black and White, and a lot of them have been performing really well. I know quite a few of them are over like $60, some teetering even higher. This one right here, currently you can buy one for $15. And again, if you take a look at the TCG player graph, it was trending at 23 just a little while ago. And a couple months ago, you could buy this at like $7. So it's already doubled within, 6-month period basically. So I think it's safe to say that this one will pretty likely go up in the next 6 to 8. I think the colors on this are really good. It's kind of the opposite of the Furry Soda Girl, like I said, with the really bright colors. But Skyla's a popular trainer, and this is just one I would put my bets in. I haven't picked this one up yet. I regret not picking it up before for $10, so I'm definitely going to pick it up now before it gets too crazy that it's worth owning for me. Alright, and so for the next one we're going to look at here, we're going to be looking at the Stained Glass Birds promo from Sun and Moon. This is one of the few Sun and Moon cards I have on here. I didn't collect a lot then, so I can't say confidently about a lot of it. Like, I don't have a lot of stake in the Sun and Moon market per se, if you want to phrase it that way. But this one's I can be pretty confident one in. I picked up a PSA 9 copy about 4 or 5 weeks ago for $26 or something, so it's a great deal. And I think even if a raw copy, this card has a place in anybody's collection. It's just a great looking one. It's getting pretty iconic, I would say. Definitely one of the standout ones from the Sun and Moon era. And the fact that the promo means it's pretty widely available even still. But yeah, so for $15, again, as you can see here, if we scroll down a little bit, you can pick up a near mint hollow foil one for $12. Let's see, near mint 15, near mint 13, 15 again. So I think, again, I don't think the ceiling's on this incredibly high, but I think it can be a pretty safe one. I don't see this one like crashing for any reason. As you can see, if you look at the graph here too, it was $8 again 1 year ago, and now it's 16 down from 20, and that's just a raw copy. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in this one. Again, even if you don't believe in its value or whatever, it's just a really pretty card, and I think one that might be out of some people's price range in a little bit, so that's why I put it on my radar and put it on yours as well. This next one is one I actually picked up about a year ago when I first started getting really back into it. It was a switch from the Sun and Moon era into the Sword and Shield era, and this is one card that really stood out to me then, and I'm glad I got it. I think I picked it up for like $8 or something. This is a Cosmic Eclipse Secret Rare, and Cosmic Eclipse, as you know, is the set that most recently exploded in price, with cards going for 500. Oh, no, probably not about 500 graded, but like easily $100 and $200 for the chase cards of the set. Prices kind of exploded out of nowhere, which is kind of just what Pokemon does. Cards that were worth $20 now being worth 80, 100 more than. But this is one of the, I think it's still slept on a little bit, even from a set that just exploded. I think all these Cosmic Eclipse Secret Rare were like the original Trainer Gallery ones. This one is the best looking in my opinion. It's not as bright and colorful in person, but again, it's kind of the same thing we talked about originally. We have an iconic trainer in Dawn, a really cool Sinnoh starter that's loved in Piplup, and if we look at the graph again down here, a year ago you could have picked one of these up for under $10. Now you're going to be looking at 17. So a little bit, almost a double jump. A lot of these, even on TCG Play, as you can see here, heavily played holofoil, so it's probably crease or something. It's still $14, and lightly played is 16. So let's see. Let's see if we can. What's the first near mint one? Near mint, like 17. So again, you're not going to be like breaking the bank if you pick up this card. And this one, like I said before, is already in a set that recently spiked up in price. So I don't think you're going to be crazy if you like doesn't explode again. But it's still underrated in my opinion. If not, if you like Dawn and Piplup, I think this is another cool one you can't really go wrong with. Now this one is probably the most interesting one on my list. Again, back to the classic collection, I think it's just really underrated. You see a lot of cards printed there that we'll never see printed again, and this could potentially be one of them. So as far as I know, this is the first time that a Gold Star card has been reprinted. And if you don't know what Gold Stars are, or you're like not super familiar with the market on Gold Stars, the cheapest, worst copies you can pick up, probably setting you back $300. Umbreon is one of the ones that is the most expensive, along with like Rayquaza and Espeon and the other Pop Series packs. They're originally really hard to get. And as I pull up here, if you want a near mint copy, you'll be looking at $1,000 basically. And this one says $5,000. That's just somebody BSing or having a Beckett 8.5 one. But still, the idea of $1,000 for a card is ridiculous. And when it's reprinted, variation is going for 20. I feel like something just isn't adding up there. And this one I think is the most interesting because, like, even if we look at the 1 year here compared to other ones, it really hasn't dropped. It's been a $21 card, the cheapest ever been. Last week at like 15. I'm gonna pick a lightly played one up for 15, probably near mint one for closer to 20. I don't know. This is one I haven't bought myself. I'm trying to complete the classic collection, so I need it eventually. But this one just speaks to me. I think there's never going to be Gold Stars reprinted again. I think classic collection might have been a one-off thing. And having $1,000 card versus a $20 card, kind of the same with the Shining Magikarp here, or like the Blastoise and Venusaur before. It's like this is just going to be such a cheaper variation that I think there could be a lot of potential for this. And not to mention, even as what I like to think of as a semi-knowledgeable and decent collector myself, I'm never going to have a Gold Star Umbreon. I'm probably never going to have a Gold Star, period. So to get one of these that are reprinted, the haul is different, whatever, $20. I don't know. It's just on my radar. It's kind of on the priority list. I don't think this one's going to spike up anytime soon. Like I said, classic collection, celebration in general, very overprinted, very populist. But maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, this could be one of my most expensive cards. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. I wouldn't go buying every copy you can see. If you ever find a nice one for 12, 15, $10, if you're lucky, at a card shop, I think this is a pretty easy pickup. And again, crazy. $1,000, no thank you. This next one here is one that I don't know how it hasn't exploded in price yet. A very limited run of promos, similarly Special Delivery Pikachu and Special Delivery Bidoof. Special Delivery Pikachu is about a $130 card. Special Delivery Bidoof is sitting at about $300. I think they're all the same in the amount that's been printed. This one, as you can see, is sitting at $40 right now. It's still a pretty hefty price that I thankfully got one when the promotion came out. Is like spend $25 or whatever and use the promo code and you get one of them. I don't think there's more of these than there are Bidoof, like I said before. And for $40, you have a very limited card, Pokemon Center exclusive in English, so that's a green flag. Charizard being ridden by a Pikachu. Okay, great. This card can have swirls. It's got like a swirl hollow foil on it. I don't know, man. I just don't see why, especially again for a Sword and Shield limited run promotional thing that like Bidoof that came out 4 or 5 months earlier, or Pikachu, which came out earlier, is going for what, 10x the price. Just doesn't make sense. I think this is one that is going to be a pretty safe bet, and if I were to have to like stake my money on something to be graded, I think a PSA 10 copy of this is going to go crazy in the future. But we'll see. In 6 to 8 months, I'll make another video saying, was I right here? Was I wrong? And we'll take a look at it. But I don't see any red flags in this, is the way I could say it. I don't. Maybe I'm crazy. But we'll have to see. The last but not least is one that I regret not buying 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to complete my trainer gallery collections, and Starmie is one of the last few ones I need. I probably only need like 8 or 10 more to complete every trainer gallery, but never mind that. I was hesitant to pick it up at like $35. I was like, I'll just wait on it. And that was about a week ago, and now it is trending at $45. $10 spike in a week. That's pretty significant. And there's a lot of personality in this card, and again, iconic trainer. We're talking about Misty. The Starmie card's great. The colors on it, cool. It's textured. All good things. The fact that it's like, it's got personality. It's not as bland. There's no other trainer gallery card that kind of does the same thing with it. It really looks like an alt art card from like Silver Tempest, or it should be. But yeah, here, as you can see, about a week ago, $35, $38, now $47. TCG player claiming it's $70. I think that's a little high, but I don't think that's ridiculous. And again, moderately played, lightly played, you can pick one up for $37. Near mint, you might be looking at that $45, $50 range. Yeah, see, near mint, $46. This one I really regret not picking up earlier. I don't think you're going to be able to find it much cheaper for $30, but even if you find it for $30, I think this is a pretty safe one. I think if there's going to be like a mascot or an overarching card that really sums up what the trainer gallery subsets were, it would be this one. And yeah, this is the last one I had on my list. I think all these are pretty cool. If I really had to say which one was going to spike up the most, it would probably be, I think the ceilings are highest for the Gold Star Umbreon and the Special Delivery Charizard. As for what's going to spike up the soonest, probably some of the trainer ones, Marnie, Skyla. This one clearly is already in an uptick, uptrend. But yeah, these are just some of my picks for some cards I'm looking at right now. Cards that are on my radar, thinking about picking up. If I can find it cheap enough, I'll pick up multiple copies. And hopefully that will pay for some more cool cards down the future, with trades or selling off after getting at a cheap price. But yeah, I want to thank y'all for watching. If you guys stuck around this far, I doubt many of you did. I appreciate it. And let me know if you guys want to see more of this type of stuff, because I think the Pokemon as a market is really interesting, and there's a lot more cards I could talk about, a lot more subsets, Scarlet and Violet, whatnot, to make videos on. So again, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it, and until next time, I'll see you later.